Thanks to the teachings of Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi became one with the Force after his death. Where he had once been but an isolated drop of water in a great sea, he was now the sea itself, flowing everywhere and through everything. The Force transcended time and space. As a spiritual entity, Obi-Wan was not hampered by the laws of physics. He could travel across the galaxy from one world to another by merely thinking of the journey. As such, Obi-Wan silently witnessed Luke Skywalker's confrontation against Darth Vader and the Emperor, and his thoughts throughout the shocking ordeal are explained in the Legends book The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan's spirit was invisible but present when Luke arrived in the Endor system. When Luke surrendered to Darth Vader, he listened as Luke maintained his belief that a remnant of Anakin Skywalker remained within Vader and had not been entirely consumed by evil. Luke urged his father to let go of his hatred. As Vader rejected his son's pleas, causing Luke to state that his father must truly be dead, Obi-Wan wished that he had been able to convince Luke of that sooner. After Vader delivered Luke to the Emperor's throne room on the second Death Star, and the Emperor orchestrated a lightsaber duel to test father against son, Obi-Wan became even more resolved that Luke had been unprepared for the confrontation. He thought to himself that Luke was too afraid of what might happen to Leia if he could not defeat Vader. Obi-Wan believed that the only outcome must be Vader's death at Luke's hand. But when Luke finally did manage to disarm and subdue Vader, Obi-Wan's spirit watched with dread as the Emperor encouraged the young Skywalker to destroy his father and join the dark side. He feared that he was about to lose Luke the same way that he had lost Anakin. However, Luke refused the Emperor's machinations, denouncing the dark side and proclaiming himself a Jedi. Obi-Wan watched as the Emperor raised his gnarled fingers and unleashed bolts of blue lightning onto Luke, and Vader struggled to his master's side as Luke begged his father for help. Obi-Wan knew that Vader would never help, and he felt overwhelmed with anguish. Luke would soon be dead, and Vader would simply remain the Emperor's puppet. In fact, Obi-Wan was so convinced of Vader's nature that he was stunned by what happened next. Vader grabbed the Emperor, forcing the deadly lightning to fall away from Luke and crash down upon both Sith Lords. Vader carried his master across the room and hurled him down into the reactor shaft. A moment later, the Emperor exploded in a great release of dark energy. Had Obi-Wan's spirit not witnessed Vader's action, he never would have believed it. Vader, the same monster that Obi-Wan had left to die on Mustafar, had sacrificed himself to save his son. And suddenly Obi-Wan realized where he had failed. For unlike Luke, Obi-Wan had not only believed that Anakin was completely consumed by the dark side, but actually refused to believe that any goodness could have remained within Vader. And by refusing to allow that possibility, he had condemned not only his friend and former apprentice, but his own capacity for hope. Fortunately, Obi-Wan thought, Luke's unwavering faith in his father's innate goodness had proved to be a stronger force than the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan realized that he had never been ready to forgive Anakin, and that Anakin would never be free until he did. He knew that Anakin would not be alive for much longer, and as Luke carried his father's body through the Death Star, Obi-Wan shifted his psyche to another realm and waited. After Anakin died in his son's arms, Obi-Wan called out his name into the void. Anakin's voice replied, immediately saying how sorry he was for what he had done. Obi-Wan interrupted him, explaining that he was now within the netherworld of the Force, and that if he ever wished to return to the world of the living, he needed to listen before his consciousness faded. Obi-Wan sensed confusion and remorse in Anakin's psyche, and Anakin asked why Obi-Wan would teach him the way to immortality after everything he had done. Obi-Wan replied that he would do so because Anakin ended the horror of the Sith, fulfilling the prophecy as the chosen one of the Force, and because he was wrong about Anakin and they were friends. Anakin thanked Obi-Wan for his forgiveness, calling him Master once more. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you.